Los Angeles. Burning cars. Tear gas in the air. Soldiers on the streets. And the President of the United States in a public feud. Not with a foreign adversary, but with the governor of California. The official story? Protests erupted over immigration raids. But what if that's not the full story? What if that's just the surface, hiding something far deeper? What if this wasn't about migrants at all, but about organized crime, corruption, and a secret federal crackdown on dangerous networks that have been ignored for far too long? In the next few minutes, we'll uncover what really happened in Los Angeles and why the truth didn't make the headlines. Stay with us. Over one chaotic weekend, the city of Los Angeles looked like a war zone. Protesters threw Molotov cocktails, set cars on fire, and blocked highways. Police responded with rubber bullets and tear gas. A foreign journalist was struck by a rubber round, live on air. In response, President Trump activated the National Guard. Over 2,000 troops were deployed to bring the streets under control. Mainstream media framed it as public outrage over harsh immigration enforcement. That was the dominant narrative. But something didn't sit right. The story centered on an alleged immigration raid at a hardware store in Paramount, a largely Hispanic suburb of LA. Rumors spread fast. Undocumented workers were being rounded up. Anger boiled over. But here's the twist. The Department of Homeland Security confirmed that no such raid had happened there. In fact, the BBC quietly corrected their report, admitting that the entire protest may have been triggered by disinformation. So if that wasn't the real cause, what was? According to ICE Director Tom Homan, what happened that weekend wasn't about undocumented immigrants. It was about serious criminal activity, the kind that funds cartels. In his words, and I quote, "We were serving warrants on businesses involved in money laundering, tax fraud, and smuggling. Over $86 million in undeclared imports, $17 million in unpaid customs." He described a large-scale federal operation, targeting individuals and networks with links to cartels in Mexico and Colombia. In just 48 hours, ICE arrested rapists, child predators, and murderers, individuals they described as direct threats to public safety. And yet, instead of praise, the operation sparked outrage. Local officials labeled the agents as racists and terrorists. They didn't want enforcement. They wanted optics. That's when the political battle exploded. California Governor Gavin Newsom and Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass, both Democrats, accused the federal government of escalating tensions. Newsom went as far as filing a lawsuit against President Trump, accusing him of bypassing state authority when he deployed federal troops. Trump fired back. Either you have laws or you don't. Either you have a country or you don't. This was no longer just a protest. It had become a full-blown clash between state and federal power. Not over policy, but over control. And remember, this all started with a lie. A false rumor about a single ICE raid turned into violent unrest. The truth came too late, and that's the real danger today. In the era of social media, misinformation spreads faster than fact. Once a lie goes viral, it can reshape reality before the truth ever catches up. But beyond the media noise, something bigger was at stake. This wasn't just about protests or even politics. It was about a city grappling with crime networks, weakened institutions, and leaders who, depending on who you ask, either failed to act or chose not to. The Trump administration framed it as a moment of reckoning, as a test of whether the rule of law still mattered. Critics said it was authoritarian overreach, a display of force meant to intimidate. Maybe both sides had a point, or maybe neither of them did. But here's what's undeniable. Behind the protests, the press conferences, the lawsuits, there was a very real federal operation, a crackdown on cartel-linked financial crimes, an attempt to restore control in a city many believe had lost it. And that leads us to the fundamental question: do we have laws, and do they apply to everyone? Or Do we allow media narratives and political agendas to decide what justice looks like? Because when law enforcement is branded as evil and truth is buried under spin, the only winners are the ones who operate in the shadows. That's the story behind the smoke in Los Angeles. And it's one that matters far beyond California. Thanks for watching Global Mosaic TV. If you found this breakdown insightful, hit the like button, subscribe for more global stories, and share this with someone who still thinks this was just about immigration.